you are a Minnesota Viking. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Seatman, and Sam Darnold is expected to sign a one-year, $10 million deal with the Minnesota Vikings. This was broke by Ian Rappaport here at around midnight. I was ready to get to go to bed, but then the Vikings decided to make moves, and we heard rumors around Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson from Diana Rossini that the Vikings could be targeting those two quarterbacks as a possible bridge option after losing Kirk Cousins to the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to give you guys my full thoughts on this move, specifically about Sam Darnold, and why I actually do think this could be an option where the Vikings could win some games next season and remain competitive, but also this leaves the door open for them still drafting a quarterback. But before I dive into that, guys, I got to make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel. I am putting my full effort into this, and I want to make this one of the biggest Vikings channels out there. So I really appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button. No matter if it's midnight and I'm making a video in the bathroom right now, another undisclosed location, I will hook you guys up with the latest around the Vikes. So hit that subscribe button and lock us in. I would really appreciate it. But let's dive into this. Sam Darnold heading to Minnesota. And Sam Darnold, obviously, did start his career off with the New York Jets, and it did not go well there when he was with New York. But then he did go to the San Francisco 49ers this past season, and I absolutely love that because I'm a big believer in just life in general. You are a product of the environment you are around, and just all the smart football minds, all the tutelage that Sam Darnold got last season. I think we are going to see the best version of Sam Darnold next year in Minnesota. And guys, we have talked about this countless times on the channel, where I have said personally, if I was a free agent quarterback, if I was a quarterback in this year's draft class, one of my top destinations would be the Minnesota Vikings. The number one reason is you are going to throw to the best wide receiver in the National Football League in Justin Jefferson. You got one of the best up-and-coming wide receivers in Jordan Addison as well. Obviously, TJ Hockenson coming off that knee surgery. We don't know when he will be back, hopefully by Thanksgiving time. But you got two bookend tackles, and you do have a young offensive-minded head coach, and it looks like Sam Darnold is going to be the one that is in place of that system. Also, a key note here, he will join former teammate Josh McCown, who is Minnesota's new quarterback coach. So keep that in mind as well. But overall, I really like this move for Minnesota. And I'm not saying this is, a move where it gives the Vikings a chance to win a Super Bowl by any means. Like, I don't know if Sam Darnold could be that guy. But Sam Darnold was taken high in the NFL draft for a reason. He's got all types of talent. He was great when he was in playing college ball, and he's got potential there if the Vikings could somehow tap into that. And maybe Sam Darnold, yes, this does look like an option to be a bridge quarterback. It is only a one-year, $10 million deal. But let's just say he works out and he balls out for Minnesota. I could see him maybe being the quarterback of the kind of short future here where he maybe is around for 2-3 years if he performs well. But the one dude I'm thinking about right now, and we'll dive into the Vikings possibly trading up for a quarterback here in a second, but the one dude I'm thinking about is Justin Jefferson, because we got that report early on this offseason where it came out and him and his team has said they will not sign an extension with the Minnesota Vikings unless they know the plan at quarterback. I am assuming Kwesi sat Justin Jefferson down. He sat his agent down after they lost Kirk Cousins, and they said, we got a couple guys we're targeting, obviously Sam Darnold being one of them, but we are going to go look in the draft and go get a quarterback. But Sam Darnold looks like he will be, I'm assuming he will be QB1 in Minnesota next season, even if they do go draft a guy. But I got to ask you guys your thoughts on this signing. Grade it for me. How are you feeling about Sam Darnold being the next quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. If I had to give a grade for this, I think I'm going B+, and for two reasons. Because one, I think the Vikings needed a bridge quarterback. There's no doubt about that. They still have the door to go trade up in this year's draft class. I think he checks that box. But also I wanted out a quarterback is maybe a little upside. And I think Sam Darnold's got that. He's got some gamer in his, in his game. And I think he's, I think with everything he's been through, the ups and downs of his NFL career, I think he is coming into Minnesota with a chance to prove himself, with a chance not to maybe, buy a future with the Vikings, but buy a future with the entire NFL. Like, he's not just kind of putting out tape for, obviously just Minnesota, which he is, but he's also putting out tape for 31 other teams that could be looking to sign him next season. Now let's dive into I think the most important part around this football team is, yes, Sam Darnold, he will be the quarterback for at least a couple games next season. Obviously, depending on how he plays, it could be the whole season or it could be a month. This does leave the door open for the Vikings to trade up for a quarterback. And I think there are three main options for a trade-up guy. Obviously, it's not going to be Caleb Williams. The Bears are going to take him. And even if they were going to move off Caleb and trade that number 1 overall pick, I think it would take the Vikings trading the next 10 first-round picks for the Bears to trade him in the division. But I think it's then Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and J.J. McCarthy. From what I'm hearing from all the latest reports around the NFL draft, assume the draft goes number 1, Caleb Williams, Drake May or Jaden Daniels at number 2 overall to the Washington Commanders. And then at number 3 for the New England Patriots, they're probably going to take the other one that the Commanders don't take. So you got the first 3 picks are going to be quarterbacks. I don't think the Vikings can trade up there. Let's just assume the Cardinals take Marvin Harrison at 4. I think the Vikings could be looking to trade up to that 5th overall spot, and maybe it is a guy like J.J. McCarthy. I do want to add this tidbit in there around J.J. and the rumors. He right now is the heavy favorite to land with the Minnesota Vikings at plus 150. Before Kirk Cousins left, it was at plus 300. Still the favorite to land in Minnesota, but the odds were almost cut in half, and now he is the significant heavy favorite. And maybe Jim Harbaugh of the Los Angeles Chargers, now being the head coach over there, maybe throws JJ kind of a good token, I would say, and allow him to, obviously go to Minnesota, and the Vikings do trade up there. But overall, I'm excited about this move. Sitting on the Kirk Cousins kind of decision day for a little bit more. I think it was right for Minnesota. I think it was time. And, obviously the Vikings put an offer out there. The Kirk and his team, they didn't agree with that deal. They wanted to go get more money, and I don't blame Kirk at all. This is not a situation where I'm over here, rooting against Kirk, or I'm thinking about burning his jersey. No, not at all. I want the best for Kirk Cousins. I really do believe he's going to be successful in Atlanta. I think they're going to run away with that division. And also, guys, I wanted to make this point earlier on today's show when I was talking about Kirk Cousins leaving. The Atlanta Falcons come to Minnesota next season. I could see that being the week 1 game, potentially in prime time, where it's Kirk Cousins and his Atlanta Falcons team taking on Sam Darnold, maybe J.J. McCarthy, and their Minnesota Vikings team. But the Vikings got their quarterback, Sam Darnold, signing a 1-year, $10 million deal with the Minnesota Vikings. Familiar with his former teammate Josh McCown, who's the new quarterback's coach here. So Kirk Cousins is out, Sam Darnold is in, and rumors are going to continuously swirl around this football team. I do want to also add this tidbit to the end of today's show. Aaron Jones. So the Green Bay Packers did sign Josh Jacobs to, I believe it was a 4-year, $48 million deal, but not a ton of that was guaranteed. But they ended up cutting Aaron Jones, and we have got reports from Diana Rossini, who's been pretty locked into Minnesota, and she said the Vikings and Aaron Jones are in serious conversations about bringing him in. My quick thoughts on that? Hell yes. If you would get a pissed off, hungry running back who is still in his prime. I know he's 29, but he still looked great for the Green Bay Packers last year, specifically in the playoff game against the San Francisco 49ers. You bring in Aaron Jones, and you kind of got a 1-2 punch of Aaron Jones here, Ty Chandler there. I think the Vikings could really up their running game. Obviously, that's going to be huge for Minnesota. Whether it's Sam Darnold or the rookie in there, you got to give them some stability, not just with the weapons, but with a true run game that they can rely on. Get them going in play action, but Aaron Jones, I'd be in on signing him. But the Vikings got a lot of decisions to make. I said these are the 4 moves the Vikings need to make after today. This is actually on my Twitter. Link for that is in the comments and description of today's show. I said they need to sign Sam Darnold. Check. Next move, go bring in Aaron Jones, sign him, and then trade up in the NFL draft. Go get your guy. And then finally, I need to get this notification on my phone this offseason. Extend Justin Jefferson. He deserves it. He deserves every cent. But that's the news of the day. Sam Darnold is the next quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings. But thank you guys so much for watching today's show. If you guys haven't already, and I haven't given you guys enough reasons to hit that subscribe button, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm making a video in the bathroom right now. So if you guys want to join the family here at Vikings Now, hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you guys next time. As always, we say here on the channel, Skol Vikes.